Howdy, howdy.
Hello, hello.
Welcome to the motherfucking dark stream.
Fuck yeah.
We are starting today with Mono Red in the top 900. And we're going to see if we can make a run into the top 250. We've got probably just enough time. It's the end of the season. We're down to, what is it, 24 hours, I think, before the end of May.
You're asking me like I know.
Right. Well, it's 5:30.
Before the end of May, yeah.
Yeah.
May ends...
Wednesday, but usually around noon the day before is the cutoff because they use some different time zone for it. It's, you know, it's a global thing.
I think it switches over at 3 a.m. where we are.
Ah.
Come on, man. You know you've been playing. Well, if I just go a little bit longer, I'll have new daily challenges. I can bang that out by 4 in the morning, no problem.
All right. So, Mono Red, I took this on a 15-3 run yesterday for fun to get up from 90% into the top 1,000. And there are reasons the list is positioned exactly like this, so let's get into it. First of all, Fanatical Firebrand versus Fervent Champion. This is the answer for this is Torbran. That's the basic reason why this has to be this instead of the other choice.
I think it's a better card. The Knight is good, and it's an interesting card, but if we're talking purely in a vacuum, like, you say, hey, fucking Darth Camjin so we're going to build a mono red deck or a red deck with 1-drops and you get to choose one, this does more.
Yeah.
The Knight can do some wild shit if you've got other Knights or you've got an equipment-focused deck. But creatures that are also spells are just better than creatures that aren't also spells. More
importantly, this will delay specific things, has some interesting combos with Bonecrusher, Torbran, Chainwhirler, and Anax.
Regular-ass combat damage, too.
Yep.
Just regular-ass combat damage. If you've got, your Burning-Tree Emissaries and your Robbers and your, Kumanos, and your opponent's got something with 3 toughness, Fanatical Firebrand makes that an unprofitable block when it previously would have been a no-brainer.
Now, Kumano's still the best 1-drop in the deck, and it's not particularly close.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But Burning-Tree Emissary, Robber of the Rich, these are tempo. Tempo, get on the board, get going.
Robber's a fine card. I mean, I just like the quality of that card, period.
Yeah.
And unlike the Knight, I mean, this does, like the Knight, get better if you're playing other rogues.
Sure.
But you don't need to.
You don't.
It's just a high-quality card.
High quality has to get answered quickly. With Burning-Tree, it almost always turns on, which is the beauty of it. Like, gets it out fast, applies pressure.
They're a good team for that.
Kari Zev, this is one that people have been back and forth on. I am running 3 copies. My reason for this is that this is, in essence, a 3/3 for 2. And it's going to beat their fucking teeth in. It's also going to provide 2 creatures for Embercleave and 2 creatures to get tripped up with Torbran.
It's also a 3/3 for 2 that requires 3 creatures to block.
Mm-hmm. Yes. It also makes Sokenzan cost a lot less. And I have had that combat trick come into play even yesterday, where we were just Kari Zev turn 2, turn 3, swing, middle of combat, Sokenzan for 2 mana, and then we have the ability on the very next combat to hit an Embercleave into play. Sometimes you just go that route. Chainwhirlers are pretty obvious. This is just a stellar card. You're in mono red. This is one of the reasons and one of the payoffs for being triple red, mono red.
Still one of my favorite cards of all time.
Yep, huge payoff, especially with Torbran. Also huge pump for Anax. Big deal.
Yeah.
Anax is just a shit brick house, and with Embercleave is usually a 1-turn clock, which is why it's there. Torbran and Embercleave don't really need much explanation. They're just great. The lands, again, don't need much explanation. You run 10 lands that do interactive things. The only real question anybody's had is whether the Castle Embereth is good or not. It is. I
believe in one.
I believe in exactly one. I've had exactly one game where it mattered, and it was absolutely critical, and it was on the back of a Sokenzan, actually, where we got to Sokenzan, we had like 3 Anax tokens, and then Castle Embereth in for 10. And it felt gross. I was like, yes, this is what I wanted.
Well, cards like, for example, Sokenzan and Castle Embereth, where 1 is the correct number of copies to put into a deck.
Mm-hmm.
Historically, people have talked about aggro decks, and in many instances, mono-red aggro decks, like it's a brainless deck.
Right.
And there's, oh yeah, you just do damage, and what is there to think about? These decks are more complicated to play than people give them credit for.
Yes.
They can appear simplistic, but some of the lines of play, yeah, they just write themselves when you've got the nut draw.
Yeah.
But sometimes you got to do some kind of tricky shit, and I really like having cards in there, powerful one-ups that make sense like Embereth and Sokenzan, because opponents that are not well versed in playing red are not going to see lines of play that you will use to beat them.
Yep. The biggest question mark is Bonecrusher Giant. I've been back and forth on this slot. I've played 3, I've played 0, I've played Earthshaker Kenras instead of it, I've played Lightning Strikes, I've gone the full Monty. My actual reason for Bonecrusher is very simple now. Mono Blue Spirits is on the rise, and they are running 4 Cerulean Drake. And you have to answer that shit. And Bonecrusher is damage that cannot be prevented, so you get to kill Cerulean Drakes with it.
What does Cerulean Drake do?
So Cerulean Drake, I'll just pull it up real quick so everybody can read it.
I remember it's got some kind of weird wording, and I remember it mattering.
Yeah, it's pro-red.
Okay, so they block, and then you bone crush their face.
Yep.
And then pro-red doesn't work because...
Can't be prevented.
Yeah, it's damage prevention. It doesn't say that on the card, and it's not intuitive that that's how it works, but that is how it works.
And it's necessary, because they will run 4 of these and 3 to 4 Aether Gust, because they know that you're their worst matchup and they have to beat you post-board. Also, you do kind of need removal spells, and this is a removal spell, often. It'll let you get ahead a little bit on those red-black mirrors, where they're running all the Blood Tithe adversaries too, where you can just go, boom, kill it, make my 4/3. I think it stays for now. That may shift with meta, we'll see, but it's
also a high-quality card.
Yeah.
It's a high-value card. I haven't really looked at Mono Red in a few days, but my most recent list had 2.
Yeah.
And my most recent list was really close to this, actually.
Skitham! What up, what up, what up?
What's up, motherfucker?
How we doing? We're on Mono Red today, Skitty. So, outside of Bonecrusher being kind of the question mark for this list, and I think it's correct for now, and notice that every single card in this list outside of Embercleave and lands are creatures. We are all about turning on Embercleave. What up, Darth Zero?
Yo, yo, yo.
We're just turning on Embercleave. We're smacking face. That's what we're doing. Now, let's get to the sideboard real quick, and then we'll get playing. Why the numbers are where they're at. Rampaging Ferocidon, you will see angels. You will see so much life gain in this format. These are very quick, easy shifts to put in for Bonecrusher Giants post-board and Chainwhirlers, depending on the matchup. They're necessary. There's enough life gain. You just need to have them.
Also a fantastic card, and also one of my favorite cards ever.
Yep. Hazorets. This was based on a Pioneer article I read about breaking the red-black mid-mirror, and the fact that...
Oh, I love it for that.
Yeah, and they were talking about how Hazoret was the difference. If you had Hazoret, you would win every game in the red-black mirror. And I kept having issues with red-black. We'd steal a game, and then we'd win one outright, but we had to steal one of the 3, and we could win one of the other 2. And I checked out Hazoret, and I absolutely annihilated 3 straight red-black decks post-board with Hazoret. And it wasn't close. It was like they got a Chandra down, and I'm like, doesn't matter, here we go, Hazoret, baby.
Yeah,
and just smacked them.
Makes sense.
So we run 2 because Thoughtseize is a thing, and you also want to draw it. So it's been pretty good as a 2-of. Unlicensed Hearse, you know, Greasefang's a thing.
I think if you've been playing much, you've seen the quality of that card.
Yeah, Greasefang's a thing. Izzet Phoenix is a thing. Izzet Phoenix decks are much smarter than they used to be. They're no longer relying on Arclight alone. They're positioning a lot like Greasefang is, where the combo is in there, but it isn't the focal point so much. It's the thing that happens.
It's the thing that you're supposed to focus on.
Yeah.
While they beat the shit out of you. Or maybe they just nut draw you and you die.
Yeah, yeah. And Abrades are there because Cat Oven exists and Mardu Greasefang exists, and you need to have answers to both, and this answers both.
Also a great card.
Yep.
And another one of my favorites.
Versatile. Redcap Melee, you're going to hit the mirror, you're going to hit a few weird things. I've hit a couple of feather matchups where having Redcap just felt great.
Yeah.
And Rakdos Mid, there have been some scenarios where that's been worth doing. Let's see, Darth Zero talking about cutting the 3rd, carries that for the first Earthshaker Kenra. I've tried it. That was a big part of yesterday's testing, was how many Earthshakers versus how many Kari Zevs. Kari Zev is kind of just a must-kill, and I'm fine with that. And the problem with Earthshaker I found is that so many of these lands, you have 8 lands that are basically your 5-drops, and they're going to die or sacrifice themselves.
Right.
So you don't get...
Earthshaker's going to 6.
Right. So you end up having a lot of these scenarios, from what I've seen, where that happens and you're sitting there with an Earthshaker Kenra just going, fuck. Also worth noting, many decks just have incidental grave hate. Like Graveyard Trespasser is in every deck with black right now, so it's been an issue to see that. So I haven't messed with Earthshaker Kenra after playing enough against red black and other things like that, and noting that they just have to kill it, and if they don't, it just is a bolt to the face every fucking turn.
Yeah, almost every Kari Zev I've played has immediately died.
Yeah. So let's get cracking. We are starting today at 897. Let's see if we can get into the top 250. And I think top 1200 still does something. I just don't know what it does anymore. I'm not well versed in that. Darth Zero might have some insight on that. I can't recall what the payoffs are anymore. I know the top 250 gets into the MIQ for next month. So if we can go on like a 10-0 run, we'll be in the MIQ, which is kind of hysterical to me because I definitely didn't focus on it this month at all. Top 1200 gives 1 point. One point. Well, that's not much. Okay, not going to worry about it then. This is a fine hand.
Yep.
Land spells, they're on the play. Why not?
2 of the lands are spells. 3 of the lands are spells now. Yeah, tell him good game. Be that guy.
Can we start Toxic? I feel like we're starting Toxic. Right on that level.
Choose violence.
Yeah, we start a Kari Zev here. They're going to kill it, but we don't want to set up for a Bonecrusher here. We want to set up to make them Fatal Push. Makes it a little bit more awkward for them. Then they have to have it. Perfect. And now we can push into probably an Anax, depending on what they do. Okay, so if they're going to go that route... if we want, we can go Burning-Tree into Anax. Or we can do just Chainwhirler here.
I like Burning-Tree into Anax.
Yeah, let's get some power on the board. Let's get some positioning in. And if they get a Chandra, let's not get blown the fuck out.
Yeah.
Which is definitely a problem sometimes.
That's a hell of a 1-2 punch.
Yeah, and we'll be able to do Kumano into Chainwhirler next time with a Robber back. That's pretty good as well. I mean, they can kill it. Cool. Still get a couple of guys off of it. That's totally fine.
Are those satyrs?
Yeah. Little satyrs.
Can't block. Why would a satyr block?
Can't block, don't want to block, don't care. Our life total is kind of irrelevant here. We're just pushing. Excellent. Okay, I think we just beat Teeth in and then Kumano into Chainwhirler here.
Yeah.
And we'll keep the Robber back for the Kumano effect. Because this can block the Trespasser straight
I'm
up.
into it.
And we gotta do some damage here. We're a little behind, but it's worth noting, like, top-decking things such as Torbran, Embercleave, etc.
Usually pretty good.
Yeah. Yup. And if they have, I mean, if they just have the Nut, then they have the Nut, and there's nothing we can do about that. That's red-black, game 1. Sometimes they have the hands with all the removal and that one sticky threat, and that's that, you know?
In a way, this is kind of reminiscent of the standard red-black matchup from years gone by.
Oh, yeah?
When Chainwhirler was in, the end of that standard format.
Sure.
Where there was, like, the red and the red-black deck, only this time it's kind of reversed, where the red-black deck is favored.
Yes. Yes, the red-black deck has the incidental life gain with Trespasser. It's got Strangle now, which is a huge factor to have Fatal Push and Strangle in the same list.
What a combo.
It's just a very quick deck. There's the Bonecrusher. Can't swing through.
Crushing the bones.
Gotta love Chainwhirlers sometimes. Okay, so...
Land Robber, smash, smash, leave back the 1/1s, probably?
Do we leave back the 1/1s? They don't block anyway.
Yeah, they're gonna want to, like, take out our threats, aren't they?
I feel like they will. We're gonna play a land first anyway, because we should be able to get a potential spell off Robber here.
Yes.
I mean, if they have the Fatal Push, they have the Fatal Push, but I don't think they do based on how fast that moved forward. So I think I'm just smacking here.
I'm into it. We have a ton of mana. I guess if we draw a cleave, we just have it.
And we could just draw something relevant here like that.
That's awesome!
Like that. And now if they want to block, we don't care that much. Because I can Bone Crush that.
Yeah, and discard the Ramunap Ruins.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely worth it.
And we'll wait for damage to make sure here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. This feels pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So
and because it was a stolen Bonecrusher, that's still a card advantage of +1.
Right? And that's how Robber gets filthy. So now you see how the board shifted with just one good Robber trigger, and why we love that card.
Hell of a card.
Mm-hmm. Chainwhirler's still popping, and they're fucking done. Alright, on to game 2.
Alright, let's play those fucking Hazorets.
Yeah, so the Hazorets come in. The thing that doesn't matter here are going to be the Fanatical Firebrands.
Logical.
They just don't do a whole lot. The question I usually have is, what are the other 2 cards I want?
I like Unlicensed Hearse because it can take the value away from their grave robbers and also just build into a really large creature that they have to deal with later. And sometimes that means they've just got to save a fatal push.
Sure.
Which gives you more time to put pressure on and kind of put them in a bit of a Sophie's pickle.
So I've gone the Hearse route before. It's got some merit to it. The question is whether or not we need removal to plow through in the form of Abrade, which usually kills about everything they have. Melee, which is going to do it for cheaper, but you really don't want it to hit that.
Oh, Jesus.
Ferocidon, if you're going a little bit more threat dense and you're trying to push your 3-drops.
We're going to be on the draw. I don't like it as much there.
And Hearse can do some pretty good work. It's kind of back and forth for me on Abrade versus Hearse, but I think since we're on the draw, I'm going to push the Hearse because we're not playing as heavy into the tempo side. We're getting a little tricky.
Yeah.
But on game 3, if we end up on a game 3, I will probably flip those into Abrades and push tempo.
I support that 100%.
And we'll see how it pushes, because I do like the Hearses, and they do a lot of work. Especially with these red-black decks, occasionally some builds are on Croxa, some aren't.
Yeah, you never really know how much they're going to play with the grave.
Yeah. This is a fine curve. This is a fine curve. This is kind of what I like to see. I'm hoping they play, nope, no adversary. That's fine. We still make sure their Bonecrusher can't do it. Again, that's why I like to carry Zevs over the Earthshakers.
Fine point.
Is key. Everybody runs 4 Bonecrusher.
Unbone crushable.
Yeah.
Doesn't even have bones.
And we actually don't play the Anax pre-combat, because if they're going to kill it, they'll kill it the moment they see that. So we want to see if we can force them to kill the Kari Zev first, and see if we can stick. Okay. Whatever they have is a very weird hand.
Or maybe they're just waiting to see what we're going to do.
It might just be an Anger of the God scenario for them. They do board in 1 or 2 copies sometimes.
So the Anax is fine here. We got another one in the grip.
Yeah, I think this is a...
They're not going to deploy it for 1 creature.
Well, they can get the 2 for 1, but that's fine with us here, because we'll just dump another Anax into play and get going again.
Yep.
And Chandra really doesn't play well against this.
Perfect. Do whatever you want with that Chandra.
Yeah, we'll just play another Anax and kill the Chandra.
Oh, beautiful. And just send that Kari Zev right to... It's another nice thing about
And
Kari
actually,
Zev.
do we just run the Chainwhirler here so we can get
Fuck
max
yeah.
value?
Fuck yeah.
This feels like the max value scenario.
Max value, high pressure, smash, smash.
And now, next turn, if they don't have an Anger this turn, they're staring down the barrel of quite the armada. And we've got Embercleave coming online real quick.
We've got goblins and satyrs and pirates and pirate monkeys.
Yup.
I guess it's fair to call it an armada with Kari Zev.
This is a hella clunky draw from them.
Oof, yeah.
Like, considering...
Make your stupid little vampire, whatever.
Okay, and we got our land. Let's look at lethal scenarios, actually. So Embercleave on a Chainwhirler's 8 points of damage. 2, 3... and Embercleave's only going to cost 2, so we can get Bonecrusher and Embercleave in the same turn here, because of Kari Zev getting us another guy.
Yes.
So that's 8, 10, 12, 13, 14. That's more than they can gain, so that should be game right there. So if we smack everything in...
Let's find out!
Well, worst case scenario, even if we don't do that, what we're leaving them with is a pretty depleted board state.
Yeah, if it doesn't work, we'll just bone crush the fucking
Sorin
and move on,
yeah.
with also beating them anyway.
Yeah. This puts them into a rough spot, and Anger of the Gods is no longer going to matter because of Embercleave. Okay, so let me see if I do the math right here. We push this over here, and we've got 8, 9, 10.
Why are you counting them? The robot will count.
Well, 8, 9, 10, 12. Okay, so they stay alive in that scenario.
Well, we don't want to... Do we really want to put it on the monkey?
Yes, because it'll still deal... It'll kill that. We Bone Crush Sorin. Well...
Then we got to re-equip it later.
Yeah, that's true.
3 mana's a lot.
That's true. We can go this route. So that's...
We can just... Yeah. They'll have a 2/3 flyer. We'll kill their guy. It'll be fine. They'll kill Sorin.
Let's see. Push, push, push. 4, 8, 9, 10. They go up to 14. And then we Bone Crush the 2/3.
The 2/3 or the Sorin?
The 2/3 here. So they don't maintain a life linker?
Yeah, but if we don't Bone Crush the Sorin, they can just make another one, or they can choose to do something else.
Right, but if they do something else, it's they lose the Sorin if they go that route, but if we kill here, they don't have the ability to gain life. And then they have to do that, because they're not going to plus this at 4 life. Right?
You could.
Okay, okay. I see your point.
The only reason I would consider killing the vampire is if you want to play around them having another Sorin.
Sure. Well, either way, they should have to expend a lot of resources here to deal with Chainwhirler, which means Torbran should get them. And that's really the point of this, is to get Torbran rolling. We shall see. So far, this has been
At one point, should have been Chester.
Clearer. I think that's what.
Ironic choice of words, though. Should have been Chester.
Should have been Chester. All right. So they're going to need 2 removal spells if we go this path.
That is the most powerful thing.
Let's do the most powerful thing and see where it gets us. Because they're going to have to kill Chainwhirler and Torbran here. And they have the mana to do it, but they have to do it.
Yeah, just turn them all sideways and see what fucking happens.
Yes. Let's see what they do. We're waiting for them.
They're doing the fuck. What can I do to live through this thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they have a Kolaghan's Command, but Kolaghan's Command just blows up an Embercleave. That's it.
I guess you could also take a Satyr.
Oh, so they can Bone Crush here too.
I see.
Okay, so we see the Kolaghan's, we see that. We push here, so that's 1, 2, 3.
You still bring the 1/1 because that's just like free life for opponent if they block it.
They're gonna block the 2/1 that's free life though,
true,
right?
True.
So that's 2, 3, 6. So they have to block the 2/1, then they go to 1. Okay. They block the 2/1. They take 5.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, we have first strike.
Yes!
I forgot about that.
Yes!
Turns out first strike does that. All right.
Oh, first strike for the win. Literally.
That's what I love about this deck. Every so often it shows me something I never thought of.
Trash compactor.
Trash compactor indeed. All right, so that's a quick 2-0 over red-black mid. And that is how we are starting today. Love it. Let's move on to the next one. We're still sitting outside the top 500. Yeah, only 730 there. Let's get rolling. Darth Zero. Should have been clear. You get 1 entry into a qualifier play-in event, so you don't have to buy an entry into the qualifier grinder to get into the MIQ. Oh, so it's an entry into a qualifier for the next qualifier. A qualifier into a qualifier, if you were. All right, that's fair. But if I can, I'd like to just straight up qualify. So let's see if we can get into this top 250 on stream. Have some fun with it. Man, that first strike. Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool when you win games on accident.
This is why I'm such an advocate for just turning them sideways and not doing the math.
Oatmeal 352. All right, Oatmeal. Gigantha.
Get ready for some milk and brown sugar.
I'm about to land off of this working, so we'll go to 5
That'll
or
do.
6. Yeah, this will work on 6, and I think we toss back the Firebrand.
I agree.
Well, they're on Gigantha. There's like 3 different decks that could be. God, yeah, this is definitely the weakest card of the bunch. It was a question on Bonecrusher to a degree, but
Bonecrusher unmulligans us.
yeah. Let's get going. If we draw the 2-drop, we draw the 2-drop and we get the Kumano bonus, but I'm not going to play around it. We're mono red, we got to get going. That's how this game goes. Thoughtseize, sure. Take the Bonecrusher. There you go. Take it. Are you going to take the Chainwhirler? I mean, these are 3 quality cards you got to go around here.
All right, we just got to draw land now.
Yeah, draw a land. I feel pretty good about this hand, honestly. This is this deck. Well, this is why we have Chainwhirlers and Abrades in the sideboard for this fucking deck. Okay. I think we still use this.
Yeah.
And just get pushing here.
Just get to work.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be able to sack to keep this off of any other scenario. We just need the land. Yes, we got it. All right, so it starts with Anax, probably. So we can protect there. And then we get the Chainwhirler for their 1/1s when we need it. So it's probably Bonecrusher after.
See what they do on this turn.
Probably a lot. This is a deck that has a curve out of 3, if I remember correctly. So they should be doing all sorts of crazy shit quickly. That's pretty good for us, though. I'll take that. Okay. I think we're Chainwhirling and smacking. And the reason for that is so that they can't block either. And that puts us in a position to smash pretty hard. It also bumps that over 4.
It does. Yeah, I like that. It makes it harder for them to try and nickel and dime our shit away as well.
Right. But mostly I want a turn like this to set up in case we top deck an Embercleave so that it's just GG right on the spot. And now they're at 5 already.
Yeah.
So if they want to get going, they need to do a lot of shit really quick.
And it's going to have to start with kill Anax.
Yes. Yes.
Which will get us 2 creatures.
And we've got Ramunap Ruins, so we've got 2 points almost already.
Yeah, we could rip a Torbran at any time.
Mm-hmm. Little Synthesizer into Synthesizer, Deadly Dispute, sure. Doesn't really do a whole lot now, does it? So they're going to get 1, 2, 3 sack effects. Okay, so they're going to be... Okay, going for the Chainwhirler. Interesting.
I suppose it shrinks Anax.
Yeah, it'll do that.
But they know we have a Bonecrusher to play and bring it back up to 3 power.
Okay, so they got the second Anvil. They get to sack. Okay. What would be really funny here is if we top deck either an Embercleave or... Nope, not that. Alright. I think we are playing Bonecrusher and just smacking to the teeth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because we can't swing without the Bonecrusher. And they still have to block. So they're going to block right there. If we smack everything, it doesn't work out well because they'll just chump there.
Right.
So we just take out the 1/1. They're going to sack it, kill this 1/1. They might have us on this one. This is the matchup where we're going to go into Abrades and Redcap Melees. Because if we can keep Mayhem Devil off the board, the rest of this shit doesn't matter that much.
And Ferocidons.
Yep. Yeah, this matchup is part of why the board is built this way. Because I knew game one for this has always been kind of a mess. It's just a deck designed to do this.
Yeah.
Which, again, Chainwhirler off the top still messes with them pretty heavily. And so does Embercleave, frankly. So it's just kind of it's a question of whether or not that's going to happen. And they didn't have an artifact, so are they going to sack an Oni Cult to itself?
Probably.
Okay.
Those things aren't any good if they're not doing anything. To the dome?
So we need a Chainwhirler or a Cleave and we get there.
Perfect.
Not quite. Okay. We swing Bonecrusher here. And not much else. Mostly the reason we keep this mountain in hand is to bluff the Cleave in case they're worried. They don't seem to be very worried.
They don't even want to trade anymore.
That was...
No sack, huh?
That was really ballsy. If we had Cleave, we won on the spot based on that block. That was so ballsy. Oh my, I hate that they can get away with that, because that would have been so fucking ruthless.
Sometimes you gotta take those chances, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Ask yourself, how am I gonna win, not how am I gonna not lose?
Right. Okay. Okay, so they're aiming for a Kumano there. Fair enough. We're gonna give it one more draw step. Exactly. To see if we can just nut right through. But my guess is we're... Okay, nope. That should be everything. We'll give it exactly... We'll give it the draw step.
Be sure to throw that land at him before we draw.
Yeah.
Not sure what we could draw at this point. Like nothing. There's nothing we can draw.
Yep, I don't think there's an out. I'll wait for one draw step, as promised.
I guess if we draw Apocalypse somehow, that would be perfect. I'm sure everyone remembers Apocalypse from, like, fucking Tempest or something.
Right.
Was triple red 2 sorcery, discard your hand, exile all permanents.
Ah. They're at 6, we're at 6.
Or maybe it's one of those that was like artifacts, creatures, lands, enchantments. I don't remember which. you know, a pre-planeswalker, so the planeswalkers might survive the apocalypse. We're not going to survive this apocalypse, though.
Nope, this one's done. All right, let's move
get the
over.
fancy shit.
Yeah, let's move into the board plan and see if it works. This is one that I've prepped for pretty heavily, and I just don't quite know if it works or not, but we're going to find out. So, Ferocidons, Abrades, Melees, Hazorets. What isn't effective here?
Firebrand?
Firebrand's very ineffective.
Bonecrusher?
Yes, Bonecrushers don't do a lot of work here.
Anax is kind of whatever.
Anax we can cut down to 2 copies of, I think.
Burning-Tree is also kind of whatever.
On the play, I'm a bigger fan than on the draw, and Cleaves and Torbran. Cleave is great. Torbran actually can go down a little bit, because we have the Hazorets, and also...
I'd like to bring Torbran down to 1, and
yeah,
maybe shave an Emissary then.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. I think this is where I'd push it. There's an argument around Unlicensed Hearse here, but I don't think what they're doing is very graveyard-centric based on this build.
We didn't see anything.
Didn't see the cat oven. I'm not as worried about that.
Didn't see the cat or the oven.
So this is a... Yeah, I like where this is trying to position us. It's got a lot of pieces that are difficult to deal with. Let's find out. Can we get that sweet, sweet dub over Oatmeal 352 with their abysmal Anvil deck? Just the... that deck. Lands and spells, baby.
It's good enough.
Also not a hand that's easy to thought seize, which matters, because they're
probably
going to do it.
board that out against us, don't they?
Nope. I've seen them do this, so I've played this matchup a few times. Rarely do they board it out.
Interesting.
And if they play an Anvil here, we Abrade. Okay, well, I'll Abrade that too. I think we can afford to.
Yeah.
Or do we need to save it for the Mayhem Devils?
No, because we have a Hazoret.
True. Let's get on the board.
Play a Ferocidon, start punishing them.
Yeah. We'll get Ferocidon rolling. They'll probably be able to Fatal Push this off a blood thing, but...
that's fine. Spend their whole turn on it.
Right. And we're holding back the goodies. Although I'm pushing Hazoret onto the board next turn.
Oh, yeah.
Even if they can't...
Oh, yeah.
Even if it can't attack, it just sits there.
Not for long.
Ooh. Interesting. And so it begins. Okay. So we're swinging for 3.
Swing for 3, play Hazoret?
Well, now I'm debating the Chainwhirler strictly because of the 2/2 sitting there and its inability to swing if we have a Chainwhirler back. I mean, it'll make a treasure token. Well, the question is, can we get enough of our hand dumped quickly enough to turn Hazoret on?
I think so. We got a land, we got a Chainwhirler. They'll probably thought seize us at some point. We're a low curve deck and we're about to play our 5th land.
Yeah, alright.
Besides, how silly would it feel if they thought seized us and took that?
It's a fair point. It's a fair point. It's going to feel really funny if they thought seized the Chainwhirler, knowing there's 2 others. Oh, Croxa, there it is. Okay, so they do have the Croxa build.
I mean, you can just kind of throw a Croxa into a deck like this.
Yeah. And there's the Mayhem Devil. Gonna take a point for that. Give me a Redcap Melee or an Abrade off the top, and I think we've got a really good shot at this game.
Feeling pretty good about it so far anyway. Oh my.
So Hazoret doesn't turn on, which is awkward. But Torby...
Yep. Torby means we're swinging for 5.
Yeah. I mean, they should be able to Fatal Push it. They've got the treasure token. But it means Ferocidon's coming through.
Hazoret's discard ability now does 4 damage.
That is a fun point. Do they have the Fatal Push? And no, they have Voltage Surge, and they're spending it on Ferocidon. Weird. Okay. They're leaving Hazoret and Torbran alone. Okay, so almost any top deck, minus another 4-drop, will turn on Hazoret. That can kill Hazoret.
Oh, right.
That's worth noting. We really want to land. Untapped red source. Give me a mountain off the top.
That would be so amazing.
Mountain off the top's what I want. So there's the Fatal Push. There we go. Just need a mountain.
Mountain, mountain, mountain.
Just a mountain.
Oh, God, yes. Mountain time. Fuck.
Literally the one thing we can't do here. Okay. Hazoret does nothing this game.
Oh, God.
And we lose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn it.
So, I guess the rule for Hazoret's, you got to board out all the Torbies. Because it's just too clunky.
Yeah.
It's just too clunky. It's good to know. It's good to know. Every time we lose, got to learn a lesson, right?
Lessons our opponents are lucky.
Do we want...
Stupid shuffler hates us.
Do we want one by force instead of the fourth Abrade is another question.
What's by force?
Blow up X artifacts. I don't think so, considering every artifact we saw...
I think the flexibility of Abrade combined with the pressure this deck is capable of presenting is probably the way to go.
And do we want the fourth Abrade to be a Redcap Melee?
No.
Okay.
No, not in a format that Winota is absent from.
True. Doesn't have that Pioneer issue. Which, that is one thing I absolutely miss in this format, actually, based on the fact that those Cat Oven decks and the Anvil decks just couldn't exist in a Winota world.
Yeah.
That part I do miss.
Yeah.
I mean, they could try, and they had the ability technically to, but they had to stack their decks so hard against Winota to not die to it. And then sometimes the Seeker's Chariot just ran them over, which was also fun. Alrighty. Anun Shika. Why not?
We played this one before.
Have we?
Yeah, because I remember their name reminded me of a Dune character.
Huh. Fair enough.
And also the actual name of Apocalypse. The X-Men character, not the sorcery I was referring to earlier.
So I'm dumping the Bonecrusher here.
Yep.
And curving.
Yep.
And that's the plan, Stan. Let's do it.
What is... I'm trying to remember Apocalypse's actual name.
I didn't know there was an actual name.
It's like En Sabat Nur or something like that.
Interesting. Alright. Thoughtseize. Always with the Thoughtseize turn one. Take the Kari Zev. We're going to top deck one. We're champions.
Boo.
Boo. Well, that mold is 6. Oofda. Still, we get to do this, which feels just fine. Burning-Tree into Anax.
That'll do. That'll do.
Yeah, we swing first.
I guess.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We're actually fine if they don't do anything in response. Alright, you know Embercleave's sitting there, so you gotta get this done now. Yep.
Guess not. Guess not.
This is what I like about red decks.
The nut. What do we know about opponent?
That they have Thoughtseize in their black-white. So, could be Mardu? Greasefang?
Yeah, I bet this is a Greasefang deck.
It's really hard to tell.
I bet it's a Greasefang deck.
But I don't think we need Bonecrushers either way. So, I think we hedge it with probably Abrades.
Abrades for sure.
And I don't know if we want to hedge harder than that, because this could be something else entirely.
I bet we don't need those Fanatical Firebrands here.
You know, you're right. Let's
so we
just
bring
hedge
in another
it.
Abrade, and we can bring in those hearses.
Let's just hedge it this way.
They're still quality cards.
And they're definitely not playing aggro, and we're not killing Lana War Elves. We're not on the play. So this is time to pull out some stuff like that and push into a higher quality. And we'll see where it goes. And there's always game 3 if this doesn't happen to pop off.
Yeah, we can lose that one too.
Right? Another mulligan it'll be. Okay, we will keep a 2-lander here. We're your worst Thoughtseize nightmare. Okay, Duress. There goes the Abrade. Alright. But we quickly... This will feel spicy. Alright. Kari Zev coming down hot. What you got? Tainted Indulgence. So yeah, almost certainly Esper Grease. Okay,
yep,
if they've got it, they've got it. They had the Duress into the Parhelion. Do they have the Greasefang? Can they hit the nut?
Yeah.
Oh, and they hit
it,
the
they
fucking nut. And that's how it goes. Game 3. We boarded it already, though.
Well, we nutted on them. They nutted on us. It's
Turnabout nutting is fair play.
Yeah. Ranch for ranch.
Okay, so anything we want here? Because this is still the correct board for these 7.
I would contemplate taking out something for those red caps.
If we take it out, it's a little higher on the curve usually goes out, because we can't afford to tap down, you know what I mean? And we're also losing land, so it's at least 1 Torbran usually goes. And then I think we keep cleave usually, because we can get that at 2 mana.
Torbran.
Yeah, I think it's just you go down to something like that.
I'm down for that.
Because our individual card quality here should still be much higher than theirs. And we just have to keep the broken combo from happening, and as long as we do that, we're good.
We now have 10, 11, no, 9 things for that.
A lot of stuff, and this is a lot of pressure. They could still nut us with this, but like, we're on the play.
We're on the play, and this is an amazing hand on the play.
Yeah. I'm not throwing this back. This is a scenario they're gonna... Again, this is a deck, and this is why I don't like playing Greasefang. You've just got to have it, and quickly, against decks like this.
Yeah.
If you do 2 out of 3 games, cool, but statistically, you won't.
Right.
And that's how it's always been for this matchup. You know, they usually get a game on nutting us. We usually get a game vice versa. There goes the Kumano.
It's fine. Wasn't part of our curve. Oh, my.
All right. We'll Burning-Tree into a robber. If we're really lucky, we will see an Abrade on a top deck. Well, there goes one of their Parhelions. Okay, so that's not getting into the mix. So do they have in the top 9 cards another Parhelion? Because they're going to need it.
I like that.
That means Fatal Push, probably?
Maybe.
Okay. So here's another question. Do we care about the 1 point of life versus the unknown card?
How are we going to lose the Ramunap Ruins? Oh, you mean keep the card unknown?
Yeah, keep the mountain unknown versus playing it out so that they know exactly what they're playing against. It's an information for 1 point.
I'd rather trade the 1 point for the information gap here.
Okay. We can swing all first.
Yep.
To see what we get off robber.
Yep.
And force the fatal push on the robber that they almost certainly have right now. There it is. Okay. So we get 5 points in. Bing bong. Ramunap, Chainwhirler. Put him down to 11.
Show us what you got.
Not a bad place to be. We are super live on top decks here. Our position's just fine. Again, they have to have the combo right now. Okay.
Slow hand from opponent.
So smack it all in. See what they do. If they play removal here, that's great for us. That's what we want to see.
Eliminate. Haven't seen that in a minute.
Taking 5 points every turn to kill one of our creatures is exactly what we want. And we play this out because now, even if they have some way to discard a Parhelion and get it going, we still have, I think, lethal.
Crackback.
Right. I think we still have lethal on board potentially, and they need the Parhelion on exactly that, which they didn't get. So we should be able to get there on the crackback. Every top deck's live now except for Den of the Bugbear. So we're not looking to top deck that, but everything else is super live. There's Greasefang. And we smack everything and Chainwhirl after, because they'll probably block the Kumano.
Yeah, that'd be my guess.
And see, that's 1, 2, 3. That's
even better.
That's game. That's just 4 points right there. 5 points right there. Yep, and that's how you beat Greasefang. Simple as that. You force them to have it so early, and they have to have it every time. Alright. So the win-loss ratio here seems to be we have to win 2 for every 1 we lose, or else we lose rankings. Going 1-1 in Mythic Ranked does not work. Good to know. Good to know. And back at it we go.
Let's win more.
So we've beaten Greasefang, we've beaten Red Black Mid, and our loss was to Anvil.
Correct.
And that was a quick 0-2.
Mercifully quick.
Yeah. Yeah, that one went quick. Which, to be fair, if we had top-decked that mountain, we would have at least gone to a game 3 there. Of that, I'm certain. Because turn on Hazoret, blow out everything but Mayhem Devil.
Yeah.
I feel like we got that in the bag. So, some unfortunate scenarios there. But Mulligan City. Alright. Well, we'll take it.
Throw back a land.
Yep. Back goes one mountain and on we go.
Still a fine hand.
Yeah. Do they have the turn 1 interaction? Soulscar. That is getting bone crushed.
Yeah, kill that immediately. Kill it with fire!
Kill it with fire, kill it quick. That card gets out of control quick. Alright. So we have a pretty good idea what they're doing. I'm actually hoping that this is the Delver deck. I don't think it is. Sweet land. Sweet land. Not so sweet. I don't understand the appeal of this particular art. You like this art over the other one?
Well, I don't know if I like it over the other one, but I just like it.
Okay. Okay.
I like any time they make cards that just have a different frame.
It's a very different one.
I've been gradually building a commander deck that is 100% only cards with alternate frames.
So this is Speed Red we're playing against.
So it appears, yes.
Bonecrusher versus Anax.
Bonecrusher.
I think so. I think so, yeah. And then hopefully we can get an Anax. Again, this will be a great deck for Redcap Melees off the side.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm on exactly 2 copies. Okay, Gitu Lava Runners. Good old Soulscar. Yup. Okay. Smack everything and then see if they block like idiots for Chainwhirler? They probably don't block anything.
I like the plan, though.
Right? Like, maximize the potential for them to be stupid?
Yeah.
Because I will absolutely ruin their day otherwise. Okay, so... Anax.
Yeah.
They have the Soulscar, which is super unfortunate because it'll shrink Anax, but we'll still get a 1/1 off of it. And... I don't know. They're definitely Speed Red, but we're going to get to Chainwhirl and Robber next turn.
They may not have burn.
3 cards left. They should have a lot of burn. Like a lot.
I mean, they probably do.
Right?
They probably have a grip full of burn, but they might not. You never
They
know.
might not. Here's that.
Sometimes you just draw land. Do we
Yeah.
know anyone who always draws land when they play mono red aggro?
Okay. So Chandra, sure. Exiling red spells? What you doing there? That doesn't hit creatures. So you can't shrink the Anax. Pyromancer, okay. I mean, this is a speedy red deck, that's for sure. Thankfully, Chainwhirler just got better.
Yeah.
I will take the 3. Okay, so we Chainwhirl pre-combat. Make sure the Pyromancer can't block.
Yeah, takes it out of the equation.
Yeah. And yeah, no reason not to. Are we the aggro? Yes, we are. So that's going at the Dome.
For show.
That's going at the Chandra. And I think this is going to go at the face as well. Yeah.
Legit.
If they don't want to block, they're going to take 9 points. That's an awful lot. Like, Kumano does a great job here of turning off Anax. A really great job of that. But that's fine, because, again, it's going to cost them a ton to do it.
Yeah.
And they don't have any other good block. Okay, so they lose their board.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, this is fine. I'm pretty okay with this board position. We're both at 13. They get a Soulscar and a Chandra. We get Chainwhirler, Bonecrusher, Robber. Okay. Spikefield Hazard. You could use it to shrink a guy. That's a thing. Okay.
Shrink the Chainwhirler probably and attack with their Monastery Slow Spear.
I don't know. I'm not gonna block. I'm not an idiot. I've seen this dance. Like, I get that this, except this is exiled at the end of turn, so they have to do it. Okay, so that's great. So there's no prowess on their turn for defense. Fantastic. Yeah, you get to hit for 3.
4.
Depending on, I would shrink something with that personally. Yeah. No? Okay, 4. Got it.
Damage go to face?
Robber in, and we dump a Bonecrusher. Do we dump? Yeah, we dump every 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
We gotta keep pressure on. I think Bonecrusher to Chandra the rest to the face.
Yeah. We're gonna dump a Kari Zev into play, and everything else. Like, if we Abyss their Soul Scar and Chandra, I'm pretty okay with that, too. This will put them in an awkward position. Because, like, if they want to activate Den of the Bugbear and come at me, they can do that, but it's going to be 6 points for the whole turn, and then we'll still have a Kari Zev, too, so we can block. So it's really not even going to be that many points. And we'll have Ramunap Ruins to do the last few points of damage next turn, even if we don't top deck a damn thing.
Yeah, just again and again, Kari Zev proving its worth. One of the very few good, well, not very few, there's a lot of good blockers in this deck for a red aggro deck.
Right.
But a 2-drop red aggro creature that's also a good blocker.
Yeah. And actually, based on the fact that we are sitting at 2-1 and we've dropped 150 slots, I think you have to hit a full 3-1 to gain levels in Mythic. Keeps life spicy.
I like how this game's going.
Yeah, I think we've got a really good shot at this game 1. The question's mostly going to be, can we get game 2? Because I assume they have like 3 to 4 Redcap Melees to win this, but you never know. You never know. Good old Chandra decks. This is such a cool Planeswalker, and I've debated it like 5 or 6 times for this deck, and each time I'm like, yeah, but like, what if you're behind? It does nothing good. It's one of those that if you are ahead, it will pile drive through, and then I'm like, but that's just Embercleave, but a bad one then. Because Embercleave, if you're ahead, is the backbreaker.
I could see for an argument of it maybe over one of the Bonecrushers, but I'd still Bone Crush.
Okay, so we block there, we take 4. They have a Skewer the Critics, it doesn't kill us. Because otherwise Skewer the Critics gets us. And I assume that's what they're holding right here. And we win on the crackback. Yep. Easy. I knew that was going. There we go. Alright, it wasn't Skewer the Critics, but still. Okay. There we go. Alright, on to game 2. Against Rioma.
They scooped too quick. We would have thrown that desert in ourselves.
Okay, so...
Hazoret, perhaps? No, they've got their...
If we do...
Slow Spear.
Yeah, they have Slow Spear. We don't want it.
It's not as good as it normally would be.
So we want to be fast. This is a game of speed. This is a game where there's going to be a lot of removal. Embercleaves are not a priority in this matchup because everything is going to be trading all the way up.
Yeah, I agree.
And speed means everything down here stays, except maybe Fanaticals if they don't have any targets. Except Fanaticals combo with the Chainwhirlers.
Yeah, they're not bad. They're not bad, but we got to cut 4 cards, and that's where I would start.
Is it that, or are we just dumping out Torbies?
Oh no.
Okay, so we're leaving 1 Embercleave, 3 Torbies, and cutting out the Fanaticals.
That's where I'd go.
And go this route, where we have some removal. All right.
Yeah.
They have a lot of things with 2 butts, not a lot of things with only 1 butt.
And trading it for that seems feel bad.
To try to use Chainwhirlers just to trade even?
No, to use the Firebrand to trade for a Viashino Pyro.
Yeah, that's a behind scenario, yeah. Yeah, I think this is pretty much where we go. This is still very quick.
I could see maybe dropping the Embercleave for 1 Haz.
I'm back and forth.
It would make the Abrades they're probably boarding in a lot less effective.
That's true. That's true.
Because now they're just 2 mana to kill a thing, and not even everything.
Yeah. 1 Hazoret I'm okay with on this.
And even if they do Monastery Slow Spirit, it's got a 4-butt, which is still good.
I mean, even if it becomes a 2-1, it's still indestructible.
Correct.
Which...
Correct.
You know, that's...
Takes multiple burn spells and a Slow Spear to bring it down.
Yeah. Worth having 1.
The Slow Spear penetrates the shield.
Okay.
Legit.
Very legit. I am super excited about this kind of a hand. Like, they get out with a 1-drop, absolutely, but then we're going to get to kill it with a Bonecrusher after a Burning Tree, which should present a solid amount of pressure. Yeah. 2 removal spells, good curve, speed, and a Torby at the top. Okay, that hurts a little bit with Bone Crushing, but...
We'll see what they do.
But we get one, too. We'll get there. So glad to hear a Dune reference. Hello, Irrationally Virgo. Welcome to the potty.
How long have you been lurking in there waiting for a Dune reference?
Alright, Slow Spear, rolling around. What are they going to do next? Gitu. Okay, so Burning Tree kill the Gitu?
Maybe.
You want to carry Zev?
Well, so the alternative is carry Zev 4, but yeah, Burning Tree kill the Gitu. That's the way to go.
Well, this will be a 3-3, so carry Zev only turns into a 3-but no matter what, because of the...
Well, yeah, I mean, carry Zev in that circumstance could have 4 toughness, which is pretty good, but killing things, I think, probably better.
Killing things, making them kill our thing very specifically, and then they get to swing, but then we get to Bone Crush and kill that, and then they get to swing.
Yeah, this is slowing them down.
Yeah. Okay, so any burn spell here is going to trade up against the Burning Tree Emissary, but still a 1-for-1.
Yeah, that's fine. It's a 1-for-1, and we've slowed them down.
Yeah, and I want to force them to use like a Play with Fire here.
Yeah.
And so if we know they're going to do that, do we just block here?
We don't know they're going to do it. Because then they can put it at our head. Their creature's bigger.
Right. Whereas this, they have to hit the creature.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Good logic. Good logic. Let's force it. There's the Bone Crush. Sure. Had to waste it. Perfect.
So that was a gain 4 life.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Okay, so here we're probably dumping the Anax into play.
I kind of like the Bonecrusher here, because they'd have to double spell to get their Slow Spear big enough to... Well, no, single spell would do it, you're right.
Yeah.
But still, it's probably going to die, is sort of my point.
Are we attacking?
I don't know.
Right? Like, this puts them to 17, but they're smacking back harder. We're fine trading Kumano's back, you know what I mean?
I think we are attacking because then we're putting the Bonecrusher in front of their Kumano and forcing them to commit more removal into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which also does damage to them.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to block the mage.
They do have Wizard's Lightning. Okay, well, they lost the prowess to do that. I like that. So they get to push in for 4 points, play a Bonecrusher. Or they go that route. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. What's the play here? Is it a light up the stage after? That'd be a hell of a card to have. Nope.
Nope.
Okay.
I think it's Anax just for mana efficiency.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be Anax for mana efficiency. We needed the land there. We didn't quite get it.
Maybe we'll get it next turn. My!
So they had all the removal on curve. And because it died... Oh, it still gets the thing, even with that. That's interesting.
What does it say?
I think it's a glitch.
Oh, what does that say? Creature you control, you don't... By a source you control. Yeah, that seems like a glitch to me.
Straight up glitch. Yeah. They're looking at it like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, me too. I don't know, Ryoma. Sorry. Wizards didn't fix all the glitches yet. You also kind of nut drew there, so I don't feel bad for you, because you're probably going to get this one. We got the land we needed. Okay, so it's carry Zev plus Bonecrusher to kill the etching? Or is it... No, it's Kumano swing?
You mean Torbran swing?
Sorry, yeah, Torbran swing.
Fuck, then what are we doing? We're blocking their guy with our Torbran.
Basically, we're taking 6 and praying they have nothing else in the next 2 cards. Because any other way we lose, right? Puts them at 12. No, it is carry.
I think so.
It's carry. I think we can swing, though, because we're fine trading 2 points on that,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Alright, fair enough. I think we're leaving it alone then.
Yep. Make him do some thinking.
Yeah. Sometimes you get curved. This is a deck that's really good at curving. It's also a deck that has massive issues with life gain, if I remember correctly from that build. I've played a few different versions. This isn't the all-in one with the Chandra's Incinerator, but it's not super far off either. Okay, so I'm blocking Kari's Ebb to the Soul Scar.
Yeah.
And then I'm bone crushing the 2/2, and if they have interaction, Rut Row. If they have cleave, Rut Row. We'll see.
If they have cleave, it's over.
Yeah. Alright, you got cleave, you got cleave.
What's it gonna be?
Play with fire. Okay, so we go to 1. Lose our board. Need to draw a Redcap. Oh, never mind.
That's it.
That's that. Well done. Speed. All the speed. Okay. Yeah, Fanatical's just not going to do it there. I don't think we board any differently. Frankly.
The only thing I might consider is shaving a Torbran for another Hazoret.
I'm fine keeping that on the play this way. These can get clunky in doubles. It's fine in red-black where you have time, but you really don't in this one.
Let's roll it then.
Critical Torby.
Now it is our turn to curve with the thickness. Are you down with the thickness?
I want to see 2 lands, a Kumano, triple Burning-Tree, into a Robber. That'll work. That'll fucking work. This is the kind of hand I love. The kind of hand that says no to your Soul Scar Mage, or whatever the fuck. We are curving, and we are curving harder.
Yep, absolutely.
We are the aggro. Hear us roar.
We bolt every bird.
Yeah.
Looking good.
Alright. Now you gotta kill that.
Gots to.
You kill that, we get Anax, and then we have Abrade back for the Bonecrusher you used to kill the Robber. And we get to push.
Yep.
Like clockwork.
Like clockwork.
Yep. Alrighty. Hazoret and a land, that'd be nice. Hey, what up, Shadow?
Good to see you, Shadow.
Glad to see you popping back in. Saw your stream got rated the other night. That was some insanity. Bumped up from like 6 people to 36 in a minute.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to watch. Okay, so this is where Castle Embereth comes in handy.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Every once in a while you get to see this come into play, and boy does it feel spicy when it does.
You know, even in Standard, when you'd play it and that was the only spell land, you rarely got to use it then, too.
Right. There's a Kumano. Cool. Light up the stage. Yep.
There it is.
Just shot calling this one.
Gonna burn that other light up the
Gonna
stage?
take that light? You gonna take that life? You don't have time to play that.
No. Oh my god, what are you doing?
Oh, and didn't get the land drop. So we get to go...
Yep.
And win the game right here.
Yep. This is gonna feel really familiar.
Doink. Hey, Solid, we gotta talk at some point in the near future, because you did the whole shout out thing with the bots, and I gotta figure out how to do that. So we definitely need to chat, because I would like to figure out how to do the shout out thing proper, because whatever you did when I was visiting your stream, that was the coolest thing I'd seen. It was like a shout out that also played our intro on his stream for like
wow.
20 seconds, and then bounce out. It was so cool.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah, so definitely need to learn how to do that so I can get you a proper shout out for swinging by. We'll have to chit chat after the stream and figure it out. All right, so we've beaten red black mid, red black anvil, and mono red, or no, red black mid, Greasefang, Esper, and mono red, putting us at 3-1 with the list. We lost to red black anvil. We are right back where we started at 3-1. So 3-1 is about the ticket for Mythic if you want to stick around at about the even every day, right? The question is, can we move up? Let's find out.
Yeah, 3-1's good, but that won't get you the foil at F&M.
No. Those anvil decks, man. Every time I play against them, I just cannot seem to figure out the correct solution for them. They're just designed to beat the shit out of aggro, and they seem to do that so efficiently.
Yeah.
My question is, what are the control decks? I guess the combo decks just beat the shit out of them, don't they?
I think to beat Anvil, you just go bigger.
That makes sense.
It's the kind of, mid-range deck that is good against small creature decks, which are popular right now.
I think we keep this. We're on the play.
On the play, yeah.
It's not amazing, but we're on the play.
It's pretty damn good. It's just missing a 1-drop.
Right, or if we can top deck a 2-drop to go with that, it would be real spicy.
Yeah.
Like, toss me a Robber or a Kari Zev, I feel very good about
Or
this
even
hand.
a 1-drop behind it. Anything behind it is good.
Okay, that'll work. There's the 1-drop, and that'll potentially combo with Chainwhirler next turn.
Yeah.
Depending on how much pressure we have to put on. This is the humans list, I think. Green-white. Yep. Green-white humans. Okay, so Thalia's lieutenant should be popping out, which is annoying. There we go. Calling shots like Paul Cheon up in this bitch. Alright. So there's a few options here. The best one's probably a Chainwhirler. But we swing the Burning-Tree first to max out. Because they're...
Try and bait them into it.
They shouldn't block it, but they may because they'll think like, oh, I'm
I'll
trading...
trade 2 creatures for that.
Right, and then we Chainwhirl, blow their board, and we're fine.
Alright, let's do it.
So that's the kind of bait switch I like to pull.
Will you qualify it?
Come on, you know you want to. It's a 2-for-1 in your favor. You know you're going to.
Yes. Perfect.
Does this feel good? Oh, it feels good for me.
Feels real good. Nice. Damn right.
Okay, they play Coco, so that's the problem that's coming up here, is that we're going to be going up against a Coco in a turn here, but in the meantime, they just lost all their momentum that they worked for. And there's the Luminarch. Oh, you're not going to combat.
What are you doing?
Dying to that.
Why? Why would you play that Luminarch, buddy?
Just to do something until Coco hits, I guess.
I guess.
I guess it's Den, Anax, Smack. I don't think we rob here.
I agree.
I just want to push the board, and then next turn we'll have the ability to rob.
Rob and cast, possibly.
Yeah, almost rob and cast a Coco. Which would be spicy for us. We'll see. We'll see. Do they have the Busted Collected Company draw?
It'd have to be pretty damn good, considering what we put on the board here.
This deck also runs 4 Elite Spellbinder main, which we laugh at if they do. Because, yeah, alright. In for it. There's Coco. Alright. Do they get the Busted Coco?
Let's see.
This is a deck that runs... Okay.
That's not bad.
Not bad, but...
Also not good.
No, it's not going to do enough. Definitely not going to do enough. Uh-huh. I'm keeping Sokenzan back.
Yeah, we might use it.
And we're just going to rob here.
No, because first strike on Thalia.
True. True. Well, we're going to swing both of these, right? They'll
I
block
think we start
here.
with that and see what happens.
Well, they're going to... Okay, if we swing Anax, they block with Spellbinder.
Almost certainly.
If we swing just Chainwhirler, they don't block at all. So do we want to trade this for that and 2 1/1s?
Yeah?
Probably, right?
Yeah?
They can bump the everything, so... That Thalia with first strike does a great job of keeping Den off the map and Robber, which is annoying.
Kind of, sort of.
I'm still going to play it post-combat, but... Let's see. Now the question is, do they have 2 collected companies?
Let's hope not.
Thalia's Lieutenant. Okay. So definitely not another Coco, but probably another human. That's a good draw. That's a very strong draw.
Not bad, not bad.
Okay. So no matter what... Oh, okay, so Chainwhirler trades for Thalia. They keep the lieutenants. And we have done nothing to advance our position if we go that route. Or we can try and get real lucky with Robber.
I'm kind of into that.
And the way I would do it in this position is we could animate the den, smack everything. They block Thalia to the den. They block Robber with that. We get 6 points in, put them to 5, and possibly get a 1-drop off the Robber.
Yeah, but what if we get like a collected company and oh damn it.
How lucky do we think we're going to get on Robber's the only question here.
All we got to do is bring the Chainwhirler and the Robber. The Robber's not doing anything, just sitting there anyway. We don't have to commit any further than that.
But we're going to commit these 2 because there's no reason not, because they're going to block, right? So this is just free 2 points no matter what. The question is, do we want another 4 free points to put them to 5?
I think we got to get lucky on the Robber here.
Okay.
That's just my feel.
Let's be lucky. Better than nothing.
Seen worse.
Seen worse. Played against worse. Okay, so 3/3 blocks. Yep. Oh, really? Not how I would have done it. Glad they did it that way. Okay. We will go this route then.
Yeah. And then on their turn we can make tokens and then top deck Torbran or something.
The question is, do we want to just pop this to try and draw something right now, like a Bonecrusher?
Oh yeah, that would be good, wouldn't it?
That'll work.
Nice call. Very nice.
Let's go ahead and blow that up. And that felt good.
Yes, it did.
Nice. Thank you.
Okay, so we got very lucky with the Robber. The Robber got us 4 cards.
Yeah, that felt pretty good.
And if you're not counting, that's 1 Thalia, 2 Clue, 3 Stomp, 4 Bonecrusher.
That was a pretty damn good Robber. I'm just going to start doing this. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm playing this to make sure. Well, it'll turn on anyway, right? Let's do math. If we do Den of the Bugbear, because it reduces to 3, can it reduce further? 1 less? I actually don't know the answer to this.
No, it'll keep reducing. So
we can get 5 creatures, right?
Yeah.
Because Den, and then it'll smack. So if we do it just right, it'll... Because Den, 5 creatures.
Yep.
We leave back 2 mana. That's Embercleave.
Yep.
Are we sure this interacts with that correctly and we're not going to hit a glitch? Because we can just play it safe.
Let's find out. I'm pretty sure.
How fucking sure?
Like, solid 85%.
Because if we're wrong, we lose the game. Ah, fuck it. Fuck it, let's do it.
Knowledge is worth much.
Knowledge is worth much. I agree. Unless they have...
And let's get real. We're not going to pay for our student loans, so we might as well pay for the knowledge here.
Oh, here's the other question. Do we think they have a March of Otherworldly Light for the Den? Because that would fuck us.
I don't know. Probably not.
Let's find out.
I mean, they're a Coco deck, so it's probably like a shitload of creatures. Ah, see?
It works. Okay. Let's do the show. Get ready. And here we go.
Get wrecked.
Top deck cleave. Sometimes you just gotta do that. Okay, so this deck.
Ferocidon seems good. Abrade seems quite good.
Things that aren't great. We actually don't want Hazorets here because Torbies and Embercleaves are great for what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Stuff that doesn't matter. Anax actually doesn't matter much here because they're going to have Exile post board with Skyclaves and Brutal Cathars. And those are just a clean swap. and all of these are good against them.
Seems like Burning-Tree would get outclassed, especially on the draw.
It's a question of Burning-Tree versus Fanatical, right? I think it's Burning-Tree because they have Luminarch Aspirant and Thalia's Lieutenant and Elite Spellbinder. Yeah, it's Burning-Tree.
Yeah.
We've already we've gotten there. It's a Burning-Tree, so push it like this.
Push it real good.
Push it real good. All right. Let's see if we can get this dub against QWE.
Qua?
Que? Is
Qua?
it Que?
Qua?
No idea. No idea. And if you're watching on any other platform, come to Twitch. It's where the party is.
Yeah.
And if you're sitting there lurking as a viewer, feel free to chat. We're here. And we care.
Say some swear words.
Yeah. Let's fuck some stuff up.
Like squirrel fisting.
Oh. All right. So, against Que, we will... we'll be on the draw. We did hit some really nice top decks that game to just smash through it.
We set ourselves up to do it, though.
We did. We played to the top decks. This doesn't feel great.
We kind of already mulliganed with that Torbran in hand. I think we can afford to do it here.
Yeah.
Especially on the draw.
That's
so much better!
So much better. That's interaction.
I think we throw the robber.
It's the robber or the Torb?
We're on the draw. We're less likely to be the aggressors and more likely to have more cards in our hand.
Okay. Convincing argument. Let's do it. Let's do it. My only side note on that would have been if they keep in the Elite Spellbinders, this gets a lot worse. But they have to. I'm actually not swinging here because if they play Luminarch Aspirant, I just want to smack it off the fucking face of the earth.
Fair enough. Although we'd still be able to do that on our turn.
Right, but then we have to use the Abrade there.
No, because we just untap with the Firebrand.
Right, it'll be a 2/2 though. Because Aspirant gives itself +1/+1.
Oh, Aspirant. I was thinking of something else. For some reason, I was thinking like Thalia's Lieutenant.
No, Thalia's not worried about it at all. Okay. Pass?
Pass.
Pass. And honestly, if they don't give me a good reason, I might just wait for, whoa, hello. That's a good reason to do things. Okay. No?
Yeah, kill it.
Kill it with fire? Get after this? That's annoying.
That is annoying.
Okay. That helps. We'll have cleave online next turn. I was really hoping to not have to go this route. Although, you know, this is fine too because we get Torb next turn, so this turns into 3 points.
Yep. It can kill whatever it must.
We'll get one of our big baddies, depending on what they do. I guess if they Coco their way through everything, we're in trouble, but that's what it'll take. Okay.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Bummer!
A lot of bummers here.
It's Torbran.
It's definitely Torby. And are we just killing the Skyclave?
I kind of like that.
I mean, if they have Brutal Cathar, it feels real bad.
I think we wait for them to attack. Because then we can block the Gideon and kill the Skyclave before damage and not take damage. Interesting.
Also, if we top deck a Chainwhirler, it feels pretty good here.
See where they put that counter.
Do we wait for the counter, or do we just kill the Luminarch? Because if they're going to put a counter, it's going to be on, like, Thraben Inspector, right?
But we're bolting with that thing.
Yeah.
So we can still wait.
We can still wait here.
Right. It does 3.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can block with the Firebrand. And then decide what we want to kill.
It's going to be the Skyclave, so we have another 3/3 to smack in.
I'm into that.
Also for Embercleave purposes.
Yeah.
I want to make sure we're pushing through. And this guarantees with that land that even if they kill the Torbran, we get through with an Embercleave target to kill Gideon, which we have to do.
Woof.
Annoying. Annoying. Very annoying. Okay. I'm swinging just Torbran here at Gideon and Embercleaving it. and killing Gideon no matter what.
Yeah.
I guess we could swing the 3/3 at them, at Gideon.
I think we bring them both at Gideon and see if they try and like block a bunch of shit. Maybe we can do some favorable things with our Embercleave. Like that, maybe.
Okay, so that goes first, that goes second. That doesn't trade with it at all.
Yep.
I don't really know the math here. Let's just put it all on.
The math is good enough. I'm sure of that.
Actually, I think we get exactly enough to kill them here. Or kill that too. Yeah, it's exactly enough. We wiped their board. That felt good.
Turns out Embercleave is a one-sided farewell sometimes. That also gets planeswalkers or something.
Okay, so they have Coco. So I'm starting with the Rampaging Ferocidon.
I would start with the Kari Zev.
Oh, fair. Fair, fair. We start there, they Coco, they Coco.
If they Coco, they're going to take... Well, they'll Coco in response, but then we'll know what they've got. Beat down City.
Yeah, I don't care. You can Coco into this.
Take 6.
Giant Killer? Sure.
Whatevs.
Take 4. And we still have Embercleave.
Yeah.
And Den.
It's looking good.
Looking good. Take 3.
Brutal.
Bolt.
Brutal. What's this? We're making seafood pasta while we listen to you guys. So be jealous you can't. I can't eat shrimp. I've got shrimp here. Maybe I'll make some.
I think they're talking to me mostly on that
Yeah,
one.
I know.
Okay.
But I'm here too, damn it.
I'm putting this on a robber and just smacking.
I like that distribution.
Because I'm just throwing everything at them. They don't have the mana for Coco, so I don't know what they're doing here. If they want to bow sage you, sure. You know it's still really good? Torb. Also, give me a 1-drop off robber for fun.
Smacky smack.
Just for the spice. Look at that. All the spice.
The best one.
All the spice. Alright, green-white humans.
Hey! 697.
Alright, sitting at 4 and 1. 697.
Woo!
Already got 5 matches in an hour and 23 minutes. Not too shabby.
That's what I love about the red decks. You just get shit done.
You do. You do. Alright, so quickly here, is there any piece of this list that needs to get altered?
Let's take a gander at it. My inclination is no, but let's take a peek.
Like the
mana base?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
3 cleaves, 3 Torbrands. I've been down with that for a long time. The Bonecrushers have really been carrying their weight.
Yeah.
I just don't see any card I would change in the main deck. The only thing that I would consider maybe changing would be if there was some other 2-drop to consider instead of Kari Zev, but for me it's not Earthshaker Kenra.
No, and I'll go over to the 2-drops real quick so everybody can see what we're looking at here.
Be sure to hit not collected just in case.
That'll do it. So other options, Battlecry, Goblin, but we don't have enough Goblins to really make this pop, which is the problem. Like, we have some.
We've got
8.
8 plus the Den of the Bugbear Goblins.
Yep. But this is also very mana intensive.
And whenever it attacks, if you attack with creatures total power 6 or greater, that's going to happen a lot with Anax.
It can, but it has to attack as well, which
Sure.
means sometimes you have to swing it unfavorably. So that's a consideration. This won't work with what we're doing.
No.
Debated, heavily
I'm
debated.
not into that one at all, especially when people are playing Firebrands and Chainwhirlers. I don't want 1-butts if I can avoid it.
Same went for Direfleet on that.
Direfleet's not as good as it looks like it is.
Direfleet was really good for a very specific standard. We've tried that, and that's if we're trying to really push against these Anvil decks in the main. If it was instant, I would have 4 of them in the main deck, because then Greasefang does not beat us.
But it's not.
But it's sorcery.
And so we move on.
Yeah, Ember Hauler, not good enough.
However, keep going, because I think there's something that we might want to use in this. I'm not seeing it. Oh, there it is. Crater Maker. Let's see. Oh, colorless. I thought it blew up an artifact.
Well, it does. Oh, colorless, not
Not
Parhelion.
the artifacts I'm concerned with.
Yeah, not Parhelion. That's unfortunate.
Or Embercleave.
If this was triggered, I'd be into it, but it's activated. If it was triggered, I'd be playing 4.
That's actually kind of interesting against the decks that are using Anvil, and yeah.
I mean, yeah, but they're also running 4 Volt Surge, 4 Fatal Push, and Mayhem Devil will get it even if they take 4. So I'm, you know.
Yeah, I mean it's a 2-drop. It's susceptible to death.
There's the 1/3 version of it that only deals 1 damage, or else I'd be much more intrigued.
That's kind of interesting, I guess, but yeah, it doesn't
damage.
really do a lot until you get to 5 mana, and then you gotta pay for it.
Yeah. I've seen this as an idea, but we don't run that style.
What's the lightning mare again?
Can't be countered, can't be blocked by blue creatures.
That's not where we're trying to be.
If I was really worried about that blue spirits deck, I guess.
1 Magda's kind of interesting.
It is. It is. It does search for Embercleave if you somehow get 5 treasures.
Torbran is a dwarf.
That's true. Are there other dwarves in here? I don't think there are. No. Okay, so Magda's kind of interesting, but the 1 again is kind of a death knell in this format. Rimrock's a lot better if you have Fervent Champions, which we're not going that route.
That's really better in the kind of deck that our other mono-red opponent was playing that's quicker.
Yeah, as is the Steamkin, actually, for that kind of deck, too, where you're all in red, you know?
None of that stuff.
Adorable, but not good.
No.
This is one that a lot of people have tried. I know that Lab IT guy has tried 2 of these instead of 2 of the Karizevs. Or I think it's 1 Karizev, 1 Bonecrusher is the only difference in his list versus mine, and he runs 2 of these. I can see the merit, but again, the 1 just kind of kills me in comparison to look at those stats. You know what I mean? Like those are 2/1 versus a 3/3. That's incredibly difficult to deal with and turns on cleave. And then we're out of...
Voltaic Visionary is kind of interesting. I've never really given that much of a chance.
Slow. I've tried it a few times. You want it for
it's
grindier.
Slow if they've got a blocker, right? If they've got an answer. If they don't, it's cracking in for 3, which is solid. If they do, you flip it, you get your extra card, and now it's a 4/3.
Right.
I don't know. I haven't tried it. Maybe you have. So
didn't love it. So let's move to the board. I'm fine with keeping it as is for now in the main, but if we get over to the board, what else could we play for Anvil that matters? You know, do we want another Redcap to just have a 1 mana, screw you response to Mayhem Devils? And incidentally, how good is Abrade versus Redcap? That's kind of the question mark.
Against them, probably similar or better, since sometimes we'll want to take their artifacts. But I do love that it kills Parhelion. I do love that it kills Embercleave, or it just straight up kills...
It's versatile.
Yeah. Kills old Greasefang.
I know I want 3 Abrades. It's really just a question of the 4th. I don't know.
I'm in for 4.
The Unlicensed Hearses can't go because Greasefang's a deck. You just have to have 3 of these for parity. Hazards are there for red, black, mid. They can't really go. We've seen where Ferocidon has shined. We've seen where, like the 75's just kind of set at this point, unless the meta shifts. And we're sitting at 4-1, so it's worked pretty well.
Yeah.
And it might have been a very different, again, 1 mountain might have changed the whole nature of that matchup. So I'm going to check the trash compactor if you want to take the helm here for a moment, Capitan.
All right, let's fire away. Literally. With flames and burning. Are there flames and burning in the trash compactor, I wonder? Odds are high. Oh, Jetmir, Jetmir, Jetmir. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. I think we've seen this opponent as well. Yeah, we can. This is good, and it can draw into broken. If we peel 1-drop, 2-drop, that'd be quite amazing. Or even just a 2-drop for the turn we get to do Emissary. Shall see. Shall see. These are good friends. chart. Yep, Phoenix in the bin. What do you know? Don't know what else they've got. Don't feel like wasting mana. Chainwhirler can probably clean up some of the early stuff. Oh, they're killing it. That'll do. Here comes a bird. Yeah, at this point it's near certainty. Oh, don't flip over another one. Erase then. That's not going to be big enough. That's not going to be big enough. Do they attack? Do they attack? What the fuck have you got? Damn it.
How's it looking?
Like that.
Phoenix, huh? Okay.
I think it's Torbran's Smash Pass.
Oh, yeah.
Chainwhirler them up later unless they can grow that Ledger Shredder. Unless they block with it here.
Let's see here.
They just Lightning Axe to toss a Lightning Axe to kill Anax.
Lol. Perfect. Unless they have a third Lightning Axe, I actually really like our positioning here.
They kind of busted their nut to get that Arclight Phoenix on turn 3.
Yeah, this is the grindier build, so they really have to bust their nut. They probably don't have Finale of Promise in this build. It's Crackling Drakes everywhere. And Crackling Drake's a big problem if they land it right now, but...
Kinda, sorta. If they land it right now, we'll clean up the rest of their board.
Oh, they had the Finale of Promise. Okay, so this is the less... this is the combo-centric, less heavy hand. Interesting.
Yeah, goodbye, Torbran.
And they're doing that pre-combat. Interesting. Oh, and they had to lose the Drake to do it.
They're out of everything. They are out of scouts.
And they're going to dump a card, so as long as that's not a Phoenix, we take 5. We replay Torbran if we get the land. Yes, Torbran into Kumano. Perfect.
Inflictions of pain.
Oh, shit. Yeah, they do get to connive there. That sucks a little for us, but...
Gotta win the game.
Gotta win the game. And this puts them into
We're not gonna
potentially
win the
lethal
game
range.
by not playing spells.
Yeah, if they have another Arclight here, they get the game, based on the connive. But, again, that's... If we want to win the game, we have to do this. And we have to force them to have answers, which they might have. We'll see. What you got? What you got?
Anybody coming in?
Okay, so they aren't thinking they're winning right now. That's interesting. Chainwhirler?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think it's Chainwhirler and smash everything at him. They should have to block, which means Torbran... We're not going to play this pre, otherwise they get the connive.
Correct.
They should... If they have the Lightning Axe number 4, then... Okay. Sometimes you have it all. Sometimes you have it all.
We lose.
I was going to say, do we have an out to this?
They've got win on board, we can't block it, and we can't kill them.
They can make a mistake.
They can make a mistake, sure.
I also want to see this extra card. Okay, just to consider. I wish you were a robber of the rich so that they can make a stupid mistake with reach, you know? That's happened like twice to me when I played Izzet Phoenix. It feels great every time. So they had all 4 lightning axes to beat us there. Okay.
Well, Hearse.
Hearse is a thing. Redcap Melee is a big thing here because we have to kill Crackling Drakes on impact. Fanatical Firebrand is nothing. Bonecrusher Giant is also pretty bad here.
Yeah.
Abrades are weirdly just fine because of the hearse. They kill Ledger Shredders and Phoenixes.
Yeah.
They do some cleanup work for us.
Yeah.
I don't care to fuck with Hazoret here because Torbran is really more the tempo play we want. We're trying to establish more of a board. They'll have Anger of the Gods, post board, 2 copies, but we're still going to play through it. Like, we just don't overextend. We get as high as a 2-for-1 for them, but never higher, is kind of how that goes, which makes Embercleave a little awkward. So I usually shave a copy or 2 and push a little bit harder into this Abrade scenario.
We could shave both and push harder into Abrade and do Hazoret.
You want to shave the last copy for a Hazoret?
Kinda.
I'm into that. They should be bringing in Abrades themselves, and 1 Hazoret seems fine. I think this is probably where we push.
Sure.
Yeah. I've definitely played against this opponent a few times. I'm pretty sure this is the opponent that had the build that beat Red-Black mid on a grind fest that lasted an hour for like game 1 basically. Because by game 2 we were down to minutes.
I remember playing against this opponent as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is where I want to be.
Fill your graveyard.
Kari Zev unfortunately doesn't get past Strangle, but that's okay. It's a sorcery. And we put on pressure. What we really need is just a couple untapped lands here, and I feel okay about where this hand can go. What do you have a play with fire? Probably. I feel like that's what that pause was for a play with fire.
Deciding if they want the scry.
Probably. Okay.
Were they reaching for a land?
I assume they have another land. But what land? To what end?
That one.
Okay.
Anax?
Yeah, we're not doing the hearse yet. Next turn we're going to do the hearse. But Anax is fine for this turn. Because it's really unlikely they go spell into Arclight Phoenix here. If they do, we Abrade and hearse.
Right.
With a top deck land, like champions.
That we'll obviously get.
Yes. And it won't be done in the Bugbear.
Although, if they tap down to do all that, there would be something kind of sick about dropping Torbran and just swinging with an enormous Anax.
Okay. Now we have to get the hearse going because they should have Finale of Promise as well.
Yeah. No value.
I'll swing for 1 here. They're not going to mess with it.
Do it.
We dump hearse. They get to go Crackling Drake. Is that good enough for us? That is the problem with not playing Torbran, but then they would have just Lightning Axed, probably. It's a game of chess.
With dice.
Yeah.
And secret pieces.
This is always a weird matchup, but the fact that they did nothing there is a great sign. It means that we possibly just made their hand very awkward for what they were planning on doing. Which is where I want to be in this matchup, is making it as awkward as possible for them to interact with us while we just keep chipping away. Strangle, okay. Fine, cast a Strangle. That's totally fine by me. That's not that relevant.
Chokey, choke.
That's 3 Strangles, which means the last one's almost gone. We'll just dump those on out. Okay. They should have a Lightning Axe.
Let's get it out of their hand with that Robber of the Rich then.
But the question is, well, okay, no, but they might have the play with fire because we played like Kari Zev, right?
Yeah.
Fuck it, I'm robbing. I'm robbing them riches.
Robin the Hood.
I'm all about robbing the hood. If they have the play with fire, they have the play with fire. But my guess is they don't.
Maybe we're about to have one. Nope.
That's fine. Again, we're chipping in points here. They're not finding the Lightning Axe target they want. We're just trying to set them up for awkwardness here. This Izzet Phoenix deck has a ton of card advantage built into it. There it is.
Yeah, sure. Crackle away.
And now they keep the Lightning Axe back. They're playing against us like they're playing against Greasefang, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so we're dumping a Torbran pre-combat, but then if we swing, they Lightning Axe the Torbran and get the 2-for-1 against us, right? If we just swing this, we can at least Abrade.
That's what I'm thinking, and we get a card.
And if they kill it, that's fine too, because then we Torbran and pass.
Triggers on the stack. What you doing, opponent?
There it is.
Why did they let us get a trigger, though?
I don't know. Well, the trigger doesn't do anything. It resolves and nothing happens. But still odd. Still an odd way to play it. Okay, so we called the first Lightning Axe correctly. There's the Arclight.
Hard cast Arclight.
Yep. Do they have the removal piece for Torbran to keep the tempo where they need it?
Oh boy, if they do, they're in great shape.
If they don't, though, big problem. They have to have the other Lightning Axe here.
You mean that Lightning Axe?
Yep, that's real rough. Okay, so they get to hit for 10.
Pretty good.
But they're out of shit to do. Well, I guess they have Den. That's annoying.
Yeah.
We need land? We need land. We got land. Okay, so we can Chainwhirl and Abrade out the Crackling Drake.
Yeah.
And we're in just fine shape. Yep. Now the question is, do we use the hearse? No, we don't. We want to make sure Den doesn't smack through us here.
Yeah.
If they have Strangle number 4 off the top, they get Chainwhirl. Oh god, that's good too. Okay, it's gonna be tight. It's gonna be really, really, really tight.
If they've got the other Strangle, we can activate the hearse.
It's gonna be really, really tight. Oh my god.
What the fuck?
These top decks have been quite something to watch. Okay.
Man, I'm tempted to start fucking with that deck.
I have most of it built as an audible option.
I mean, not for today, but...
Yeah. That'll probably... That could be tomorrow. Let's see. What do we have? We have Redcap would be awesome. Didn't get it.
We lose.
Let's see. We can get 8, 11... We can make them think we have something more than what we have. And that's how we have one shot at this. We need them to block with a Crackling Drake.
Block like a chump.
If they're smart, they let it go through. If they aren't smart, they block the hearse onto that, and we still probably lose to Hall of the Storm Giant.
Alright, shock them for the win.
God, wouldn't that feel good? So that's how close we came on this matchup. It's a difficult one.
Now they got us.
This comes down to, do they have all of their removal? And note that they run 4 Strangle, 4 Lightning Axe. That's their only removal. They saw 5 pieces of removal, 6 pieces of removal each game out of 8.
They drew a lot of cards.
They did. They did. So Izzet Phoenix. We take the 0-2 there. So that also begs the question, should we have done Hazoret instead of Torbran?
Perhaps.
Because Lightning Axe doesn't do a damn thing there.
Yeah.
And that lets us just play out faster. So lessons learned here on Phoenix, Hazoret is a thing. And against Red Black Anvil, Hazoret is a thing. Anywhere that we're pretty sure they're going to have answers to Torbran at 1 mana, which both of those decks do, we play Hazoret instead. And we probably keep the cleaves for the tempo, so that we can push through. Make them have the angers, you know what I mean?
What kind of creature is Crackling Drake?
A Drake.
Maybe a Glorybringer?
So if we do that, it's a Nombo with Hazoret. I've gone down this path a few times, and it's a shift in what type of deck you're playing. Because if you do that, what you want is Chandras and Glorybringers. And then you go bigger with the Chandra Glorybringer duo instead of Hazoret.
I've played them together before. It can work.
We can play Chandra and Glorybringer. But if you play Glurbringer Hazoret, it gets clunky pretty quickly with this deck, typically. It also means a fundamental revamp of the sideboard, which we could do. But it would mean the Abrades go out. And the Hazorets probably go out, and we go into a 3-3 split of Chandra and Glurbringer.
Let's try the Hazes for now.
Do the Hazes for now? Okay. I think that's the stronger iterations with the Hazorets. We just haven't boarded them properly. We've been learning lessons instead about how good Hazoret is, and the fact that Torbran can't be played against decks that are going to have easy Fatal Pushes, easy Volt Surges, and easy Lightning Axes.
I could also see just playing the Glorybringers with the Hazorets. It's been done before, and it can work.
It can.
And I can think of a slight tweak to possibly make to the main deck that would improve that plan as well.
This is another opponent that's very familiar. V. Cardarelli. I know I've played against this opponent at least twice.
That is so tempting.
No, this is the hand that you get ranched on if you don't mulligan it. Like the greed is real, but 2 draw steps to get an untapped red source.
It's game 1. I don't know. You make the call. In this situation, I keep.
Let's go for greed. We didn't get into this game to not be greedy.
Well, now they know what we've done.
Now they know how lucky we are if we win. Take the Burning Tree. You know it's the
Burning Tree guy.
It's 100% the Burning Tree. Oh, love it. Can we do one more? Can we do one more for
Top
all
deck
the luck?
Burning Tree.
There's the Fatal. Oh, nope. The Thoughtseize. Irrelevant.
You can see that we got it.
That's just 2 more points to them. I love that. Oh, and we got a Burning Tree. Oh, greed.
Yes.
Greed is good.
Yes.
Greed is good.
Yes.
Oh, the salt is real, V. Cardarelli. I know. And a Blood Chief Thirst.
Woo. This is excellent.
This is some spice. All right, toss me a land. Toss me a land. Let's go to work. Totally fine. Let's go to work. Damn it. Okay. So this is not going to be great for resource leveraging, but we have to kill that.
Yeah.
So it's smack both of these.
Yep.
We'll take this out and a Torbran.
Yep.
Because that's just how it's going to be. We didn't get the land to make this a better trade, so this is happening. They block the robber here. They take 2 points. They're still very in this. Wow, they let it all go.
That's cool.
Okay, so they just want Graveyard Trespassers on Trespassers. Interesting. I mean, it's going to clock, and it's definitely going to gain them a bunch of life when they kill stuff. So,
or be a really, really good blocker? I don't know.
No, they'll just Fatal Push, gain 2 life, smack for 4. That puts us down to 12. And they still have all this mana and cards up. Like, they could get there. We got all the greed, but we didn't hit that 3rd land. And the 3rd land was the one we had to hit to get where we needed to go in this. Because they should be able to do that.
To be fair, now that we know what this is, it was the correct play to keep that hand. Because we got to get kind of lucky to get game 1 here.
Against red-black mid?
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends, but yeah.
They are really well suited to stopping exactly this version of red.
Yeah. Alright, so this is going to be about Hazoret.
Yes.
That is where this goes.
By the way, Graveyard Glutton and Hazoret are really funny together.
How so?
Well, so like when we would target it with removal, it makes Hazoret easier to turn on. Because we have to discard.
Oh. That's a good point. That's a good point. Okay, if this isn't a land, we can pick it up. We can pick it up. Punished. Punished as we should be for that. That was greed. We got punished. It happens.
Yeah.
We move on.
If we mulliganed to 6, we probably would have lost anyway.
Hazards are worth having. Fanaticals do nothing. And this was just a 4 for 4 in and out. And I believe we're on unlicensed hearse because Croaks is a thing. And also turning off their Trespasser life gain's a thing.
Unless we want to just abrade the Trespassers.
It's not an amazing trade. But yeah, I'm fine with that.
It could be amazing if we've got Hazoret.
True. Are we keeping in Torbies? Or are we going full in on Abrades here?
I think we should shave a couple. Or maybe we do the split with the unlicensed hearses. I don't know.
I'm okay with this, although we've had this conversation. Do we keep the one Torbran, or do we just rely on the power of Hazoret? They do play Fatal Push in ways to sack to get Fatal Push for Torbran. And we've also had that discussion.
Yeah, let's get that out of there.
I would kind of like to throw in either a hearse or a Ferocidon here. And I'm fine with either, frankly.
I'm leaning more towards hearse just because it creates that now you have to save your Fatal Push situation.
It does. It does. And if they have Kroxa, it makes Kroxa look real dumb, which I like. I don't want to be dealing with a 6/6 Kroxa if I can help it. Alright. Let's do... That's fine.
Let's do that.
Yeah, if they have turn 1 Thoughtseize, but they shouldn't have that against us post-board.
If they have turn 1 Thoughtseize, we still have a really good turn 2.
Yeah.
Besides, we'll just draw another Kari Zev anyway. Hey, they didn't have it.
Nope. Turn 2. Okay, so they'll have the Fatal Push, but that's fine. They get the Kari Zev, we keep the 3/3. We're a little land heavy here at the moment, but...
I disagree with that assessment. We've got 2 spell lands. We're in great shape.
Yeah, but they don't turn on until turn 5, so we're missing our 3 and 4 curve here. Which is... It's rough, but...
We'll draw that.
Maybe not.
Next turn.
It's like, that would have been the turn 4, but not so much.
No, we'll get it next turn.
And...
What are you going to kill?
Not looking promising for the home team on this one.
It's about to... First they're going to mind rot us, and then we'll top deck Hazoret.
Okay, weird choice there. Anax, sure. Top deck Hazoret, get there. That's pretty much where I'm at with this exact position. Because Hazoret in this position's nuts. That's turn on all our spell lands and beat stick. But we need it badly right now. And granted, Hazoret does die to, like, Bloodthirsty whatever the fucks, if they have 2 of them, but...
What? Does it exile?
-X, -X.
-X. Oh, that whatever thing.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, there's the Fatal Push. Kills Anax. We get 2 tokens. They get Bonecrusher to block all that shit. We get Den of the Bugbear to smack back.
Yeah.
Oh, way better. Okay. Rough. That's why we brought it in Abrade.
We have the solution.
No Hazoret, but we can still get a solid 5 points in to put them to 9. They get Kiki active. Not great for us there.
Not this turn, not active.
Yeah, we still get one more turn. But
this turn, it is merely a Grizzly Goblin.
Question is, do they have that? That's the problem.
Answer is yes.
Yep. Alright.
Embercleave time.
Yep, time to cleave. That's really where we're at. It's time to cleave. Hazoret's not terrible here either, but not
perfect.
That. Can't draw 6 lands against this deck and get there. Still, we shove. I'm not doing math. That's for them to do.
Exactly. See, now you understand.
Really? They're going to lose their Kiki for this? Wild. I would not do that. Because they can make copies of Graveyard Trespasser and gain 4 life next turn.
Why not? Yeah, they figured that out.
Yeah, that's a far stronger play.
I think we can pack it up here.
I'll give it one moment. One moment indeed. Hazoret still does a lot of work here.
Let them do their fun thing, I guess.
Yeah.
They're about to crush us for 12, though.
Yep. Depending on how they play it. Sometimes people play stupidly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Are there enough creatures to kill us? Nope. We'll go to 1. They'll go to 9.
And then we draw Apocalypse.
Okay, they didn't want to grab their own creature. Interesting. Oh, never mind. They got Croxy. And that
is that.
That is that. All right. So, 0-2 against them.
Red feels real good, but I don't think it's the deck.
I don't think so either. it's got a lot to offer, but we are sitting here at, let's see, 4-3 now.
Yeah, so we're soft to black-red. We're, in my opinion, soft to Phoenix.
The grindy decks. The ones that are going to get out, play quick, and grind, that are designed to beat these Mardu Greasefang, Snow Spirits, Delver, Mono Red. This Rakdos Mid, this Izzet Phoenix deck list, they're both pushed for that. That's what they do, and they do it well. So there are fringe decks that are available, such as Humans, Angels. I don't like either of them, honestly. Like, both.
From what I've been seeing, I think if I were to choose for my maximum probability to win,
yeah,
I'd go Rakdos Mid and just learn it real well.
It's got a lot to offer, and if you're looking for Rakdos Mid, this build is pretty close to what it probably should be. I've tuned this up over the last week or so, and it's not too far off where I would be.
What's that Japanese card there?
Doomblade.
Nice.
So this has some differences between a few other lists, but it's based somewhat on the Pioneer list again, and what I was seeing them pull together. So you want your early interaction, your obvious picks, and then you do want just a shitload more removal. Like, you need to kill the things as they come out, because all of your 3-drops beat what they're doing, and your 4-drops are removal and value. And essentially, you're
and
giving
if you have
them...
too many removal spells, Kiki Jiki will throw them away for you.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, Sam the Man, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
And then off the board, you go into a very different game plan depending on what they're doing, where you have Duresses and Go Blanks to replace all of this removal against the control decks. You have the Unlicensed Hearses. You have Raven Feeblements from Mardu, as well as the Abrades. And this is kind of the weird slot that I've seen pop up in Pioneer lists that I was curious about. The idea is that you get into these games that are not about making everyone have more resources because they're going to do that better than you. It's about depleting everyone's resources as quickly as possible. So you have your 4 Duress, 3 Go Blank, and a Lily at the top, so that you're just trying to get rid of their resources and then keep them out as hard as you can with a Lily.
Right, win with a creature land and a Planeswalker, or just a It's just classic Jund stuff.
Also turns on Hazoret quickly.
Yeah.
Which is some spice.
Yeah.
So this is the way I would start. I don't think this will probably be the end build of Rakdos Mid, but this is where I would start and take it from there and see what's up. If you're looking for Phoenix and different ways to build that, this isn't correct, but this is closer. And it's a question of how many lightning axes do you want. The answer is probably all 4.
Yeah.
How many of all the other spells is also a question, and you get into how many lands. This is 22. You can technically shave it to 21 because of how much you have just digging here, but you can't shave it much further. And, you know, where do you make cuts? Do you lose the Fables? Do you lose Chart Courses? Do you lose... You don't lose the Expressives. These 16 probably stay, and Ledger Shredder's amazing. So, and you got to keep your top end. That's what wins you the game. So it's, do you shave some Fables? Possibly. Do you shave some Charts? Maybe. Fables are probably the first thing to go in the main, because as excellent as they are, they don't actually turn on Arclight.
I would consider cutting them completely and instead play...
Finale?
Yep.
Just go to Finale Promise?
Yep.
Yeah, I can see that. And so that's probably where you start the list, right? And then off the sideboard, I've messed with this a fair amount, but it's something like this. You're going to want some number of Unlicensed Hearses. You're going to want Aether Gusts. Disdainful Strokes around, so is Mystical Dispute. This needs to get tuned up heavily, but the main's probably solid for that 60. And you just start from there and figure out where you need to shift the side. So both of those decks, very viable. They're going to be grinders. There's going to be stuff that goes over the top of both of them. This Golgari Fight Rig deck is kind of wild, and I've messed with it a little bit. It's a weird one. It's a weird one, but it can do some really gross things, which I like.
In case you wanted to spend your mythic wild cards on Verdurous Gearhulks.
I did today. I actually spent 2 of them to get the last 2.
Ow, God. And the playset of Gargaroths, are those mythics too?
Oh, yeah.
Yikes.
But Gargaroth in this format's real strong.
Sure, but 4 of them?
Yeah.
I mean,
in this deck, okay. I've never played more than 2 in a 75 ever.
Oh, I love it in this deck. This is a deck that gets to pop off with fight rigging on, I mean, turn 3. You can turn 3 fight rigging a Titan of Industry into play.
Yeah, it's happened to me.
A few times. I've gotten all of these on the top end off of fight rigging on turn 3, and it's not super uncommon that happens. But it also has some really clunky fucking draws. So it's, you know, like if you go off, you go off. If you don't go off,
You shit the bed.
usually. Sometimes you can just hold it down, you know, because you do have big, fat, dumb monsters that hold down the fort well. But you have to.
I respect any deck that plays Ronus the Indomitable.
Right?
That is a card I have always loved, but never really found a deck that it's actually good in.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that it's actually good in this one, but it might be.
It's interesting. It's interesting. So if you're looking for something that's a little out there, Golgari Fight Rigging, definitely a deck for that. There's a Waste Not list coming in off of Pioneer that I was messing with for a second, and this is the first one I've seen that looked interesting to me.
Well, it starts with my favorite 1-drops.
Yeah. You get the Fatal Pushes, you get the Thought Seizes, you get the Croxas. Instead of getting more value 2-drops, you are just playing these straight-up shitty creatures that make them discard.
Tons of value with Obnixilis backing them up.
Right, so you get the Obnixilis, you get the Inscriptions, some Hagras, and then Lilies at the top, plus Invokes and Angraths.
This actually looks pretty cool.
It's a spicy list. It's very metagame dependent. Like, this was designed in Pioneer to beat the shit out of Winota, and it does. It does. I know it does a pretty good job against a lot of the red-black mid decks, too, where they're trying to play this value game back and forth, and you just don't give a fuck. Like, they thought sees you, you laugh, and do it 8 more times than them at least, you know? So it's an interesting list. I haven't gotten to mess around with it a whole lot, but I've built it just as a weird audible choice. And then if you want to get into blue-white control world for just some weird stuff, the list has been updated. Ugh. It's into Rewind World again. I know. if you like your opponent to scoop out of anger and frustration.
You know, I could support playing a blue-white control deck and even enjoy it if this was a world without Teferi, Hero of Dominaria.
If it was Wandering Emperor.
Teferi just sucks the fun out of every game, no matter what side of the board it's on. At least the games I play. I don't like playing Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. I don't like playing against it.
Yeah. Well, this is a list that it took a while to tune up. The reason it's tuned up this way is because in many ideal scenarios, your opponent plays something, you rewind it, then dump a Wandering Emperor, then untap, dump Teferi, and that's the game.
Yeah, I can see what this is designed to do, yes.
Yeah. And you have the cheap, either instant speed or very flexible removal to go with 10 counters at 2 mana, 2 of which are land drops, 4 of which just cycle if they suck, and 4 of which with Wandering Emperor turn into quite the house themselves, you know? Your best counterspell in the format, and your second best counterspell in the format, and then a clean all if they get ahead. It's basic as hell.
Counterspells and wraths.
Yeah, it's basic as hell, but boy does it fuck up a lot of decks. So if you're ready to grind, that's an option.
Counterspells, wraths, and planeswalkers. That sounds about right.
And outside of that, there's always spirits. This is a list.
I am intrigued by spirits as well.
This is one we haven't really messed with too much, but it's...
Ah, you bought those.
Oh, yeah. They look so much cooler than the other stuff. But this...
I love my cards to look shitty and pixelated.
This list has done quite well for me, just messing around with it. I've definitely altered the sideboard heavily from what everybody else was doing, and that's why it looks like this. These have been really, really fun for me. It doesn't knock off the Curious Obsession when you do it this way, which is a lot of fun. You don't get the ETB effects, but like you don't need them. You just wanted to keep that usually.
You know, and when they slip out the back, they just come right back in.
And you don't have time to play this unlicensed hearse game against Mardu. You're just trying to get on the board, so you're like, okay, here's the thing, you don't get to combo until you kill that. Here's more spirits, let's go. If you have 2 Parhelions and the Greasefang, so be it, you know? And then I don't like losing to red, so here's the I don't lose to red plan. And it's pretty fucking good. So this is a very spicy list. I haven't gotten to mess with it too much. It should get its clock cleaned by red-black mid, but I don't know.
What I like most about this list is the playset of Lofty Denials and the playset of Geistlight Snares.
Yeah.
There's so many games that just don't even happen because of that.
Yeah. Yeah. If you get behind, it's really hard to win with a deck like this, but if you get ahead, it feels impossible to lose some of the time, you know? So it's got a lot to it. This Brazen Borrower is just kind of hanging around for a second until I figure out what it needs to be, because flexible slot. But everything else is pretty much there for specific matchups that I think we'll need it for. So we'll be back tomorrow. We'll be messing around with a few different lists, see if we can grab, I don't know, a couple more wins. I don't know that we're really going to hit the top 250, but if we can stick it in the top 1200, then we'll at least get a free qualifier play-in event, which we'll do. So
why not?
Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? So 4-3 with mono red. Not exactly what we were hoping for, but still not a bad run. Learned a lot of lessons. This is the motherfucking Dark Stream.
Peace.
Peace.